Hi all, it's Kylie from Kylie's Card Craft again. Thought I'd continue with Roxy's weekly challenge. So week 2, tags with paint. Now if you watched my video from last week and we just did tags with florals, vellum, things like that, I overestimated my capacity of what I was going to achieve and managed to make 3. So this time I've got my tags cut. I'm working on 3, but you never know, I've got one extra one here just in case. This week's challenge is tags with paint. Now I don't do a lot with paint. I might grunge something on the edges. In saying that, I've actually got a journal I'm working on at the moment that has all been painted. And then touched up with a copper paint. But it's probably about the only time that I've really played with paint, apart from altering buttons. And so I'll use my paint to alter my buttons, and usually that's about it. So this is quite a challenge for me. I've got my tags here. I've got my general bits of paper. I came across a lovely Pitman shorthand book the other week, so busting to use that. Whether it gets done in this or not, I don't know. I have my trusty paint palette, and I have 4 paints. I have a silver, I have a copper, I have a wild honey, and a forest moss. Yeah, I know, strange colour combination, but, you know, I do have, well, I don't. My daughter has some big acrylic paints, but that's fine. I'm not going to go and get those because I'll just get myself even more confused. I do, of course, have my gesso. So I'm going to include that as paint for this one. There is no rules, kind of. So, well, there is, but I can stretch them a little bit. The rules are how many of whatever it is for that week can we make in 45 minutes. So, as I said last week, I'm sure I was going to do at least 5. Yeah, no, 3. We won't worry about that. So, tags with paint. I'm watching my clock at the moment, and I've got a couple of minutes to gabble, and then I have to get onto it. So, I've got, as I said before, my trusty bits and pieces. I have my stamps because, let's face it, I can't do anything without stamping. The other thing I use a lot of is, because I use my inks all the time, I like stencils. Now, what I'd been after for ages and ages and ages was a small leaf stencil. I have a large one. It's a 12 by 12 inch stencil with leaves, but they're really too big to go on tags. So I gave up trying to find it. I just haven't been able to find it. So I got myself some of my acrylic that I usually put on, my acrylic acetate that I put my clear stamps on, and die cut. It looks grungy because it's had washi tape on it where I was holding the dies on. So I've got 2 little rose leaf dies that I've just gone all over. So I'm hoping that I can do something with that. And I do have a green. Surprise, surprise. So, okay. What I plan to do is do it on, this is one of the ones that I've done from last week where I had so many more intentions, and just got to get comfortable, sorry. So it was still sitting here. I've had a really busy week. I've gone back to work after the Christmas break and nothing. And so I'm hoping to do this tonight and then my normal tutorial tomorrow, which is a folio. And I'd give you a sneak peek, but I can't because it's sitting somewhere else in the room. So we won't worry about that. All right, so let's start with paint. This is going to be fun because, as I said, I really don't work with paints. I so want to just pink up my inks. My inks tend to do everything for me. So these were originally just the daubers that Adirondack ones and Tim Holtz had out that I've put little squeeze tops on instead of the daubers. So we'll see how that goes. As I said, I don't have many. So we'll sit you in here. sit you in there, and we'll go up towards the top, and I'll put something down the bottom. I've got a little bit of washi tape just to hold it in place, and a little bit more, and we'll see how we go. Might need one little bit more. This is all I ever use washi tape for. All right, let's see how we go with that. My biggest problem, I think, with this one, apart from the fact that I'm using paint, will be my drying time. So I can't guarantee I'm going to get everything dry, which means that I might not end up with even one done. But I've been busting to try something like this with this stencil that, as I said, I really wanted a small stencil. I couldn't find one anywhere. So, you know, they say necessity is whatever it is for invention. You know what I mean. So I'm going to do them very, very light, hopefully, so that way they will dry. In my 45 minutes, I've started at, it's Friday night here, I've started at 7:10. I have the house to myself, which is just awesome. Both our kids are at work. They both work part-time before they're going to uni and before uni starts. So, and my husband's gone back to our work to do some stuff down there. So it's just me and the dog, which is wonderful until the dog decides she wants something. And I thought, why not try and achieve this? So they're all done. Okay. As I said, I normally do it with inks and I can lift them up and go from there. And I also didn't bring any water in to, oh, that's not too bad. That's very messy. I've got a baby wipe here. There's my wipe. Move the paint from that. Ugh. This is probably why I don't. That's such a hideous colour. It is very, very messy. Normally if I'm doing a little bit of paint, I just use my fingers and get even messier. So I can't guarantee that we're all going to come out clean. No, I know we're not all going to come out clean. All right, so we'll just sit you there. See, this is taking up my time, isn't it? Right. I'll give it a wash later on. We'll chuck it over there for now. Right, so while that dry... Oh, no, that's going to dry really quickly. I'm impressed with that. All right, so you're done like that. What I also want to do, while I've got that green out, is I want to stamp. Got a stamp. Got a stamp on everything. So this is just Darkroom Dorset. I've had them for years. 2009, I think they came out. Yep. Got them when they first came out. And look, they're great for cards, but these flowers are just divine. Isn't that iris beautiful? So they tend to be my go-to stamps for everything. So let's go. And look, I don't know the name of most of the flowers. I'm not a gardener. I know a few flowers. I know, I know roses, I know daffodils, and irises, obviously. I don't know what this one is, but it's pretty. So what I want to do is stamp here. We might just go straight, but with my paint. Now, all right, so I have lovely paintbrushes, but I don't use them for paint. So I want a little bit of green, and I want, if I do that wild honey in that, it's not going to show up, is it? I don't reckon. Let's have a look. Oh, it's fairly bright. It is fairly bright. It might. Let's have a play and see. So we want a little bit of green for the stem. Now the paint will wash back off my stamps. So that's not a problem. It's not going to harm my stamps at all. All right, there's my stem. This is an awfully big brush for just the flower, but we'll see how we go. So because whether they're acrylic stamps or rubber stamps, what I will do is I will wipe them over, first of all with just a wet wipe, and then once I'm finished, I'll go and run them under the kitchen tap. And, all right, let's see how that goes, or whether I've just annihilated everything. I want a stamping mat for that. The green's still wet. All right, fingers crossed. Let's see how we go. Ooh, there we go. How's that? That's come up rather a treat. It does have some paint globs in there, which will take a little bit longer to dry, but that stem is drying beautifully. I'll just wipe over that stamp now, and we'll go from there. If I can paint them, then I can just decorate them. We'll see. And then I've at least used... Now, I did a black tag. I cut out a black tag. I have my tags all cut out up in my box, the pre-cut tags. You know, when I get a moment, that'll do for that. Whenever I get a moment, and just sit them in a little box. And I don't have black ones because I don't tend to work in black ones unless I'm doing a steampunky one or a really grungy thing. So I've cut out a black one for this because I really want to use the silver and the copper in some form. I'm honestly not certain, really not certain what I want to do. So, let's have a think. Let's just do some more stenciling with just some little, right, got lots of little stencils. I love the little stencils for tags. I just love stencils all over because they'll give you such a different, and these are just odd ones. And look, in all honesty, I think I picked these up free in a magazine, but silver bricks. What about that? Let's try that. Let's just go whole hog with that one. So once again, I'll use my washi tape. And I'll just pop him down. I'll grab some more because I don't know what I've done with the rest of that stuff. And I'll just tack this on. Like so. And one more bit on the other side. All right, so just while I'm rambling while I'm doing this, I hope we've all been well. I don't know what your weather's been like, as we're in the middle of summer, literally in the middle of summer here in Australia, and it's been shocking. It's not rainy or anything like that. It's just we haven't had the warmth that we normally have. For all of you in America at the moment, and all the snow and all the rest, it's let's go silver. I see all the pictures that you girls all share with the snow, and it's just beautiful. Where we are in Australia, we don't get any of that. So I'm very envious. I'm sure, though, if I had to live with it for any length of time, I may not be. So let's have a look. I'll grab another brush. I've got my palette knife here. No, it's all right. We'll grab a brush. We'll do it this way. because the brush will give me a lighter effect, because I'm worried that it's just not going to dry. This stencil may have been used too many times, because it's if I do a dry brush effect over it and just keep swirling it around, we might get it even lighter. And yeah, see, this stencil's bubbling a little bit, so I'm just going to have to be careful where I'm going so that I don't go too far underneath my stencil. Sorry, I got a frog in my throat. Maybe I should have brought a drink with me. Okay, I was just too excited to have the house to myself. Really didn't get myself organised. Just jumped at my seat and went, yes, let's do this. Before I've got a house full of people again and they're all coming home and expecting tea. So, I want to do something. Right. How am I going for time? Oh, I've only been 10 minutes. I've got the bases of 3 tags just about done. Oh, my word. Right. I could nearly give this one a 2 go, because I'm more or less dry brushing, which means I've got very little on my brush and just rubbing over it and taking a lot off as I go, so that it's a very, very light coating, which means it's drying really quickly. And what I might do with, while my stencil's still on there and in the right spots, is then go over certain areas with the copper. And then I can start decorating and popping some lovely papers on. And, oh, I don't think... I've got lace. I've got lace beside my desk, but I didn't even grab my ribbons or anything. Didn't even think about it. That'll teach me. Right. Last little bit. Hold that down. Don't mind if it doesn't all come through and it's a little bit patchy. So, especially with those little ones, let's have a look. That looks fairly done in here. Right, so what we'll do now is, let's face it, I've only got 4 paints, so let's use 4 paints. I do believe I'm putting out way too much paint. Way, way, way too much paint. So now I need another paintbrush, don't I? You're a bit fat, but you're a bit... Right, so let's give you a really dry bit. So I'm getting rid of most of the paint that's on my brush, and I'll use it like a stipple brush and just go in those centres and go over the silver, so that hopefully when I lift my stencil, so as you can see, I'm just tapping my brush up and down, so I'm using it more like a stipple brush, so that it's just literally going in those. So I've just gone into the centres of my flowers, that one. And then, of course, you get the big reveal. Yeah, right. Right. All right. Haven't done the centre of that one. No, he's too big. So let's have a look. Let's just see how we go. Oh, well, that looks disgusting. It's all right. Paper will cover it. Looked good and thought. Blech. Looks nice on the stencil. We'll see what we can do to it. So, let's have a look. Where's my silver? So instead of inking my edges, let's give him a silver edge. Oh, you must let it dry already, so that's all right. All right. That's lifting it back up anyway. I don't mind if I get globs of paint on that. So you can see, can you see? I've got thicker areas in some spots to give it a chunkier effect. Chunkier, that's a word, isn't it? So all I'm doing is wiping my brush down the edge. So that we've got a solid silver. Try not to touch it too much. I wonder if I can go in that hole and highlight that ribbon hole as well. All right, here's the test. Just nope. Oh, so we'll make him a bit messy. He's like it now. All right, so I'll fray him right out. How's that? So that it looks like, you know, when you put a an eyelet in something, and then the other side where you've pressed it in and all the rest, and you turn the eyelet over and it's where it's all split out. That's what I've now got there. Well, that's what I'm telling myself I've now got there. Oh, put it down, Kylie, before you go any further. Right, so technically I have 3 tags with paint. Got to admit, that one's my favourite. He's still a little bit wet. This one is dry. So we'll just sit those ones up there to dry a little bit, and we'll decorate that one. And I didn't even use my gesso. I might yet. We'll have a look. Let's grab some bits. All right, now, love old paper. Just get rid of the border on that one. You can hear it. It just tears so beautifully. Listen to that. All right, so we're on a roll. Let's put a little bit of gesso on that, but just very lightly. Do I have an actual stipple brush? No, I know what I'll use. I have, here we go. Right, we'll use that, and then I can sit it on like so. I'll grab just a scrap piece of paper. Well, I will. Oh, I've got a. There we go. There we go. Piece of old plastic, which is probably what I should have put down in the first place. Right. Right. So this is just a piece of sponge. I quite often use that, but usually again with my inks or with my gesso. It's about the only paint, as I said before, that I do use. But as you can see, I get it everywhere. And then I'll just go and wash that out under the tap as well later on. I have lots of funny little foams and all the rest. So I'll lift you up. Move that away. Want that down there. That won't take long to dry because it was just sponged on very, very lightly. And I can't help myself, I'm just going to ink around both bits. That, is just making sure. So that's just walnut stain. Just go right in. I say this one's been inked already from last week. 20 minutes in, I should have one complete completely completed by now, shouldn't I? So this one I need to be very, very careful with because it is an older paper, and it does tear beautifully, but it means that it tears very easily. And so I run the risk of tearing it, which, you know, is not a great problem because, let's face it, I've torn it in the first place to get that shape. But I quite like that shape now. So we'll just keep going up there. All right, that might do it. Otherwise, I think I might be pushing my luck. Yeah, so now he stands out. So see, I don't know if you can see how, because I've bordered this with the darker walnut stain, it now stands right out because they're a different colour book page anyway. Okay, so I want something up in here and I want some words. So I want some words and I want, let's have a look. Let's go postage stamps. Oops. Sorry, it's terrible noise, isn't it? He works. He works. I like that little guy. What have I got in words? Yeah, this one won't open. How strong are you? Oh! Right. I don't want the black ones. We'll pull all those out. They're a good colour. Let's have a look. What have we got in here? Oh, yeah, no. That's a nice colour with it. That worked a treat. Once again, because I can't help myself, I will have to ink around it. And I want some of my cheesecloth. Not that one. Let's go a little bit of that one. Try not to sit it in the paint. Got a better one. I do have a better one. Got some new ones the other day. There we go. Actually used in a class that I was running the other day. So, and it's a really big weave one. So, and I just love it. So where's my big scissors? Don't want much, just want to chop off and stretch. Oh, I don't know if you can see my mess here now. See, it is a beautiful big weave. So let's have a look. If I go... My hands are very dry at the moment, so I'm catching everything. That will hold that down. That will sit in there. That will sit there. I like that. Right. Move you guys back over there. And we will stick. Now, I ran out of the other day. Oh, here we go. And so I finished off my glue stick the other day. Dead. And I forgot to grab a new one. So, there we go. So that one I'm going to use with this glue. Just so that he's nice and strong in there. And he'll hold down my cheesecloth as well, if it comes out. Come on, come on. You can do it. There we go. I actually think that was from a Graphic 45 paper. So that should hold all that down. That one can be, just need my gluey book, which is here. I'm just going to pop that out of the way before I put everything on it. Right, so we'll glue this guy down. Just in there. Give you a push. Hope that there's no paint on that. And then that one. And I think I'd actually like him to sit up a bit. But if I sit him up, then he can't go in a pocket, can he? So he's going to need to go flat. All right. Decision made. And unfortunately, that comes from my card making days. And I like to give everything height and all the rest. But I've got to think when I'm doing tags, because they're not going on a front cover or just in a page. It's all right with some of my pages. But when I'm doing tags and I want them later on to go in a pocket or a tuck spot or something like that, when I pop them on foam or chipboard and lift them up, they won't necessarily go into what I want them to go in. They'll go, in a top tuck, but for the most part, I do bottom pockets. Right, one. Finished. Right, this one. I just love that as it is, but we're going to do something. First thing I'm going to do is I'll ink around. What I'd like, what about some tissue paper or serviette or something like that? What have I got sitting here? I've got no pattern sitting here, but if I can just get that so that it's without any writing. And, well, if I can, we'll tear it. And then I'll see if I can collage a little bit onto it. I'll just start with that anyway, and I'll get rid of that. Right, but I like that side. Pattern paper, you've got the glossy side, and then you've got that wonderful, slightly rough, furry side. That's the side I like. But I'm wondering if I get an archival ink, what will I have in an archival that might do that? No, I don't want moss the same colour as that. So let's have a look. And let's just use, as I said, I didn't bring any of my other stamps, but my wooden stamps sit on the desk beside me. So let's just have a look and see how that stamps. And I might do it in the sepia so it doesn't overpower it at all. I'll just sit you on. Yummy, yummy. Oh yeah, yummy, yummy. Yummy, yummy, yummy. Actually, I'll leave you full and I'll ink you up and just stamp you full, and then I can pull bits off, can't I? Right. Pop you away. Pop your lid back on you. Sit you guys back there. Give me some room. I'm just going to stick as I go and see what happens, I think. I'm just using my blue glue again, like I do with my serviettes when I'm doing something small like this. You do tend to get into a huge mess. It tends to stick and come off sometimes, but it's quick and it's easy. I don't have to move from my seat, which just for me works a treat. And I'm just gonna keep doing that because that's rather yummy. And I've gone back to my inks, haven't I? Inks and stamps, and yes, I'm meant to be using paint, but I've used paint. I've got a really wet patch just there, which is why I'm watching what I'm doing around that. We'll go down there. Make sure I get my corners and try and lift it up. Stuck to my finger. I don't want it to go over my edge, so then I'd have to trim off that lovely fluffy area. So if I just squeeze it in, I'm quite happy to have the wrinkles. I like the look of the wrinkles in there. Well, how to make a very small piece of pattern go a long way. Push that in. Right, so with that one, all I really want on the rest of that is a little bit of lace with a button on it. And if I use a painted button, then I've used my paint, haven't I? Oops. Right, so let's have a look, see what I've got in lace sitting here. Might need, I just want something little. I tea-dyed a pile the other day that's just going to give me, let's have a look. I really just want to scrap, and of course I'll cut too big a scrap, but then it means I've got something to work on. Sit you back down there in the lace drawer. Right. So if I ruffle you, I could catch that with a stitch, really, couldn't I? Wondering, am I going for time? Oh, got a little bit of time. So, scissors. It's probably not the right colour, but it'll, I'm just grabbing a needle, and it's probably way too big a needle. So, who can thread the needle? Right. I'm just going to tie a knot in the back of that because I won't see the back. But what it'll do is it'll gather it up. Probably won't even hold because that lace is so, I don't know, what's the word I want? There's not much pattern there. You can tell it must be Friday night. Right, so I'm just going to start in the centre because I can grab one of those bits where there is a little bit. Just going to lightly gather that up. I'm hoping. Yep, look at that. All right. I'll just go back through that one. Beautiful. Back down that one. And up in there. Down. Up to that one. Just to get my end back in as well, which will bring all that back together. I'll do this and then I won't like it at all. So what it looks like now, kind of, is a little lace bow. Or a big lace bow. Again, it's not going to fit in a pocket, is it? Oh well. So I'll just finish that off on the back. All fingers. All right. Up him through there, tie him off. Don't think it's going to go anywhere. It's not as though it's being washed or anything, is it? All right. Chop you, sit you. What did I do with the cotton? There it is. Sit you back in there. Now I'm hoping that's still thin enough. I'll go down a bit. What do I have in the way of buttons here? Don't want dark ones, don't want grungy. Let's have a look. No, I've got just some... If I put some antique linen on those ones, they might come out a bit different colour, because I want about that colour. But he's got black paint all over him. All right. So we'll go that with some antique linen on it, which is just the antique linen distressing again, just to hopefully take the white off that and cream it up a little bit. I think all I'm doing is making it very dirty, probably because my hands are filthy. Slightly better. Right, so now I'll grab my glue that I use for my fabrics and my laces and all the rest, and it's just a, what is it? Helmar 450. Scrap piece of paper to make sure he's going to work. Come on. It's getting low. There we go. Oh, there it is. Alright, so if I just do a big glob there, get rid of the stringy bits, sit you down in that, give you a push. What have I done? 20, I've got 6 minutes left. Can we call that one finished? Can we say that that one's finished? Yeah, maybe it's finished. Right, and then, so you can see my altered buttons there, the colours that I would never use normally. All right. And if you want to see how they're done, I have done another tutorial video on them a while back. So it's just under altered buttons with Kylie's Card Craft. So, how's that? That's different. That is definitely not a me tag, but it's different. Oh, so gluey. Put that one away and that one away before I knock them. So, technically, I've got that one and I've got that one. I've got 2 finished. I've got a couple of minutes. This one, I would say, is dry. How can we grunge this up? Let's give this a completely different look. There's no script, no flowers, apart from those ones. But it's more just a background pattern. It's not a real flowery thing now. So what could I put on there? I could put a butterfly, yes, and that'll finish it off. Let's have a look at some vintage. If I didn't do flowers, I could have made it into a male tag. So I really like wrong colour. How about I just tip them out? Because that'll be so much easier. And then I can put them back as I go. Same one. I like that a bit of colour. Maybe if I bronze it up. Oh, there's one that's in a slightly different thing. Hat, no. So if I had my black paint, what did I do with that? There. Let's just play silver paint. Big mess. Silver paint, big mess. Awesome. Right. So once again, we'll just give that big edge on it and messy. So I'm dripping it. Kind of looks like, I don't know, soldering. Really messy soldering. Oh, that was a bit big, that glob. And I can't get it off now, so it's there. That's because I'm rushing. Okay. Right. One of those black words that I had a while ago might work in this to pick up the black. Oh, I've got such a frog in my throat today. Right. So you're going to take quite a bit to dry. But it's given that silver edge. I've got 3 minutes. So, if we use one of these, remember, memories, amazing, inspire, forever love to celebrate, moments cherished, timeless, yes. Beautiful, embrace eternity. What did I say I liked in there? I don't know now. I'm trying to hang on to this so that it's not going to... Maybe if I... There you go. Don't knock it. Memories will work. No, we weren't going to grunge it too much. Let's live life. That should be our mantra after last year. Right. So if I live life on that, and I'm just going to use double-sided tape to pop him on with, because then I'm not pushing too much with that wet edge. I'll go a wider one, just so that I know that it's really stuck. Oh, I could use a doily in that, couldn't I? All right. Sit you there. I'm down to 2 minutes to go. Can I finish it? None of them have got toppers on them, unfortunately. So, just had a thought. I've just had a thought. I don't know if it's a very good thought. And they're all big ones. Don't have any little ones. Where would be my little ones? What I want was a doily. And I've only got big ones sitting there because they're the ones I did again the other day. So, nope. do have some really little ones. Let's just pull out this pile. It's a pile I did the other day when I was tea dyeing, but I don't want all of it. How about that? Ugh, putting that everywhere. Like that. And that one on top coming off. Does that need anything else on it? No, it doesn't, because I don't have time. So, what did I do with that double-sided tape? Woohoo, got 3 done. See, I kept my expectations lower this time. And I've done it. Woohoo. Don't know if I'll be doing next times. I think it was something to do with Amazon packaging. As I have to ink that, sorry. As I don't get anything through Amazon, I'll have to work out what it is that she's doing. That should have been done in black, but that's all right. Just so it darkens up that edge. Look at that. Got you stuck on. Oh, it's so... And there. All right, we'll use some double-sided tape again because I've got that is still so wet. And it'll just go there because I have to sit it on there instead of the other way around. Oh, it's crooked. Still crooked. How's that? Right, look at that. We did it. I'll move my mess, some of my mess, all of my mess. Put all those back in the vintage one. And then we'll see just what we've got here. So I have done my 3 tags. And in the end, I'm actually quite happy with that one. It's come out way better than I thought it would when I took that stencil off. So, you know, it just goes to show you may start with something and really dislike it. Keep working on it. Wait until you've done some more stuff before you give it a final, I don't know, a final thought of whether you're going to chug it or not. That one. Oh, look, and 3 completely different, well, 2 kind of flowery ones, but 3 completely different tags. I'm really happy with that. That's, yeah, I didn't know how I was going to go with this one, as I said, because I don't do a lot in paints. I do very little in paints. I use inks, and it's not something I would have picked up and gone, I'm just going to use my paints today. But I'm really pleased with those, and I might have to start playing with my paints. I may even have to get more than 4 colours. That might work too. So, very happy with that. I hope you've enjoyed it. If you have, please hit like and subscribe if you haven't already subscribed. If you have subscribed to my channel, thank you very much for joining me each time and for staying with me. I'd love to hear if you're doing these challenges as well and what you've come up with. So please let me know in comments. And until next time, have a great one. Bye.